Now, guys, I bet you a lot of people are wondering what would make a seller sell low or for cheap. So it's all the psychology, guys. Most investors think everyone wants highest and best offer, which a lot of people do, but the reality is more nuanced than that. Many sellers are willingly trading their equity in the property for speed and certainty and peace of mind. Understanding this psychology will make you and give you much more leverage in the market. Now, why would some sellers choose peace over profit? So, conventional wisdom always tell us, yes, top dollar, but reality is a different story. For many property owners, emotional and practical consideration outweigh financial maximization. So think about it. They get peace of mind knowing they're for sure going to get a cash offer for this property. It's not sitting on the market. They're not wasting time with buyers. They're not worrying about getting their house appraised. They're not facing any type of inspection and things like that. Because when inspection happens, other people you have to make known of what came up regarding this inspection. So you get peace of mind knowing you're going to sell your property. It's time sensitivity. Some people have to sell their property in a rush. Like I mentioned, foreclosures, tax delinquents, and things like that. Those people have a deadline date. They either have to pay the bill or they have to sell the property. So those are their options. So again, time sensitivity, relationship value. They need a trustworthy buyer who solves problems to become more valuable than an uncertain high offer. So if they know they're going to get a for sure cash offer on their property, they would rather trade their time or gambling in the market, not knowing what type of offer they're going to get. Now, how do we identify these motivated sellers? There are different ways we can identify them. We go after vacant and abandoned properties. These are properties that have been sitting for a while. Sometimes they're boarded up. Sometimes they're basically falling apart. We do inherited properties. These types of properties are properties that people have inherited from a family member. They don't want to take on the responsibility for a secondary property. Remember, with properties come taxes you have to continuously pay, sometimes a mortgage, property maintenance, things like that. So we also do pre-foreclosure situations. These are people that may be facing foreclosure soon because they start missing their mortgage payments and they have already paid the mortgage for so many years that they do have equity in the property, and they'll rather trade some of that equity than lose the property and not make anything off of it. Divorce or family stress. These are people going through different obstacles in life to where they have to just walk away free from a property. Just burnt out landlords. Sometimes people own properties for so long, they're tired of tenants, the problems that come with tenants, long-term rentals to where all their profit from 1 year has been eaten up by property maintenance. This could be AC, this could be foundation, this could be a roof. So these are the reasons we find these motivated sellers and we offer solutions to them. So now, your value comes with speed, simplicity, and certainty. Speed, because you know you can close fast because you have a list full of cash buyers. Simplicity, you make the transaction very easy for the seller and for the buyer. Certainty, you guarantee you're giving this seller a certain amount and you get to make the difference. So everybody wins. You're helping the seller because they for sure know they're going to sell their property. You help yourself because you get that middleman finder's fee, and you help the buyer just because your offer is lower than what the buyer would traditionally pay for something that's on the market. Cash buyers, they're ready to close fast, so they always have the cash at hand because these are people that are doing constant properties, fix and flip, so they can keep up with their lifestyle, keep running their business. A lot of times they don't have the time to market and find these different properties. They just buying properties off the market. So you're basically getting them a discounted property without them having to pay a realtor or anything like that. No repairs are needed for you. So you're selling the property as is. So you don't have to worry about any of that simple, clean paperwork. You're able to just facilitate the deal all off an agreement with the seller and an agreement with the buyer. So the seller gets the win, you get the win, and the buyer gets to win. Simple as that, guys.